listening to the sultry sounds of Trilogy Productions.
Sultry sounds of Trilogy Productions. Yes. Welcome everybody. I am VA Verse. Across from me sitting looking lovely as usually with her. Well, she's looking lovely as usual, but she has an unusual and very stylistic, beautiful hairstyle that she's rocking today. And I must say, it looks very beautiful. Oh, yeah, my wife Z.
You're listening to For Better or Worse. Stop,
What's up,
fool.
guys?
Do it again, and I'm gonna beat you up.
What's up, guys? We have meddling kids.
But it's man. See, she don't start picking. She messed up my hair, and I'm about to. Okay.
You about to kick her ass?
I don't do that, people.
What? Kick kids' asses?
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. You don't. Yo, Leah, chill out. Thank you. Much appreciated. Okay, so I'm over here fiddling with my mic because it's been acting strange and it's still acting strange, but we're going to attempt to get through this and see how it comes out.
My mic is down really low.
It's too low?
I have to sit
Okay.
like this.
All right. Converse with the people. Let them know we've been gone for a while.
We've been gone for a while, people. I think they know that we've been gone for a while because it's been, what, month? Has it been a month?
I don't think so. Might have been.
It feels like a month.
I know.
It feels like a month of Sundays.
It's a month of Sundays.
It's what, 4 weeks?
What's up? Oh, that's what it is? That's just a month? It's just another way of saying a month?
Yes.
A month of Sundays? Okay. Yeah, we just had to, because we was having these technical difficulties with the mic, so we just had to restart the beginning of the podcast. But the first time we tried to do it, Z tried to play me on the little intro.
How I try
All
to
I got
play
her
you?
to try to talk, because you tried to imply that we have not been potting because of me.
All I'm saying is that you podcast popping and you always doing other podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
So we
See-
just haven't really had time to do our own podcast.
And you've been ready and willing to pod. You've been lit, ready to go.
Well, my argument has always been that I don't do this all the time. I don't have a podcast on Mondays. I didn't have a podcast on Wednesdays, and I don't have a podcast on Saturdays. So I don't normally pod. So when you're just like, hey, you want to pod? You want to do this? I'm just like, yeah, I'm ready whenever you're just like, hey, let's do it, because you got to do all the engineering equipment. You got to touch all the fancy buttons and lights and stuff. You put up the mics and you do all this other stuff. And, no one has to say, hey, Verse, I need you to do the artwork for the show on Monday. Oh, you be like, okay, I got to do the artwork for the show on Monday. I got to do this with OOB, and you're grinding your teeth because the headphones is going in and out. You shouldn't grind your teeth. You're not going to have no teeth when you get old. But anyway, so, they're like, yeah. And then if you don't go to the show, you're like, oh, I got to make sure I do this artwork. So, you're very hands-on with those shows. And this show has just fallen by the wayside. But we're back. So
I want to point out something very interesting with your argument, because one of the things you said was that your argument has always been, I want to point out the fact that you have made this argument that I've been doing other podcasts, but I've been putting our podcast to the wayside or on the back burner. However, I want to point out to my dear wife, when was the last time I did Out of Bounds before this last Saturday?
I think it's been a couple weeks.
It's been a month and some change.
Okay. It felt like a couple weeks, but okay.
It's been a month and some change.
Okay.
And the last time that we scheduled to do our podcast, why didn't we do it?
I don't know. Why didn't we do it?
Because our guests had an emergency that they had to take care of.
Right.
And that's why we didn't do our podcast. And we had.
But how long had we not done it before then?
Okay, but we were supposed to reschedule with them.
Okay.
Were we not?
Yes, we were. But we still. How long was it before then? It had still been a couple weeks. Mm-hmm. We still hadn't done anything.
Mm-hmm. And
all I'm saying is that the eagerness for this podcast is not there. The eagerness to do artwork and to do commercials and to do all this other stuff goes to your other podcasts that you do. This one doesn't get that same energy, is all I'm saying.
And what was I doing like two weekends ago?
So am I really supposed to just remember everything? I was somewhere
where I was being held somewhere. Am I right?
Are we gonna talk about that?
No, I'm just pointing out the fact that there have been other things that have imposed us being able to do our podcast. Yes. That are not because I'm busy doing other podcasts.
There have been other things that have been imposed on us doing the podcast. However, in the same breath, you can't say that you have the same smoke for this podcast that you have for other ones.
I do. We were on. Okay. We had the Hoyers on one weekend. The following weekend, we were scheduled to have another couple on and do a podcast with them.
So but there was an emergency.
What happened before the Hoyers?
We didn't have a podcast before the Hoyers. Like, we've been going for a minute. It's been a minute that we have been not in commission. But we don't need to spend the whole time arguing because
I didn't intend to argue about this at all.
Well, you brought it up. And you brought it up, and you did. You brought it back up because we ended up restarting the intro because your mic was not working. And now that you're bringing it back up, and now you all up in your feelings.
I am.
But you always all up in your feelings when I say something about the podcast. Every time. Because
you get to say that I don't put effort or energy or smoke in this podcast, and then you get to say that, and then whenever if we were to bring up you not putting energy or smoke into the podcast, you get to say that you don't do this.
I don't. My thing is I follow your lead. If we was writing books, you would have to follow my lead because it's something that I do. If we're recording a song, I follow your lead because that's what you do. You make music, you do that. I follow your lead. I get up there, I say my little shit, and then that's it. I don't make the beat. I don't put it together. I don't edit it. I don't take it to Willie, the bakery, plug. And I don't do all that stuff. I don't do any of the stuff. I come in with my paper. I say what I got to say, and that's it. Because that's your thing. If we were at my job, you will follow my lead because I know the job. I don't know the job. So you put a mic in front of me, we talk, we do it. But if it comes to time where it's time for us to press buttons and as folk would say, you the quarterback. I don't know what I'm doing. I come, the mic is ready, and we do this. If I come and the mic is not ready, then we're not going to do it. But it's not the same with, it's just not the same thing. It's apples and oranges. Got a bit of dead air there.
Okay. Well, what were we supposed to discuss today?
I don't know. You never told me any of the topics, and you said that you were going to tell me something on air.
Yeah, we'll have to start off with that though. I didn't say I was going to tell you the topics. We discussed what we want to talk about.
Well, I was just saying that you said that you were going to tell me something.
Yeah, I was gonna. We'll say that for later. I don't want to start off with Charlamagne and Angela Yee. I don't want to start off with that.
Well, my only thing was I was talking to you about the cartel massacre or the cartel ambush that happened in Mexico. I believe it was today. Mm-hmm. And I think it was 9 people killed. I think it was 6 women and... No, I think it was 3 women and 6 children, if I'm not mistaken. And they believe that the cartel thought... Because it was 3 SUVs coming from a religious site or camp or whatever. And they believe that the cartel thought it was a rival gang. And then they ambushed them and they killed children and women. And one lady shielded her 8-month-old child from being killed with her body. So she ended up dying. And they found the baby in the bushes next to the bullet-filled car or SUV. So that's what I wanted to... You know, your energy is completely gone.
Well, that's saddening. My energy was thrown off. I'm okay. I'll recover because I do this. So I'll recover.
Damn, it got super shady in this bitch for like
it's been shady since before we restarted the beginning of
it's not
the
shady. So see that's the thing.
You know what? We need to talk about this. Let's just go ahead
obviously because you got a stank attitude.
Because
like you real stank right now. And see this is the thing, like why would you bring it up? If you just gonna be sitting over here talking mad, whenever we talk about this, you always get an attitude.
Well, if you know that, why would you even say it in the first place?
Because okay, so I can't say how I feel.
Yes, you can. But why can't I bring it back up? Why can't I say how I feel about it?
You can, but then you're not capable of moving on because you over there with stinky attitude, funking up the place, and then you throwing shade, and I'm over here trying to block the shade like bow.
We were moving on. We were moving on. We were talking about the cartel
because your attitude is funking up the room.
It would have recovered. Because I can do that.
But our energy is very off.
Excuse me, everybody. I just recovered from a cold, and I kind of have like a dry cough right now. So excuse me if my cough interrupts the flow of everything. I just don't think it's fair that all of the blame for us not doing the podcast is on me.
Not all of the blame, because we discussed that there was a couple of things that were out of your control. But if we are supposed, so for example, we're going to write a book together, right? Can you stop grinding your teeth? We're going to write a book together, right? Mm-hmm. So if I write books, I write stories, that's what I do. So are you going to just be like, oh, hey, Simone, it's time for me to write a story? No, books is my thing. So when it's time to brainstorm, when it's time for me to write X, Y, and Z, because I am the storyteller and the book writer, you would follow my lead. I wouldn't expect you to be at the meeting place and already writing and putting this shit together, because that's not what you do. So you don't know exactly what you're supposed to do.
But podcasting isn't any less your thing than it is any of my other co-hosts that I have on other shows.
So do your co-hosts have to come to you and say, hey, it's time for us podcast, or hey, did you do the artwork and stuff that you're supposed to do? And hey,
everyone has roles.
Okay.
For example, Out of Bounds, Sergio comes up with the topics. He basically comes up with the topic outline, and we add to it maybe if we need to add something or not. Ricky's job is to kind of get the links and the research so that we can research the topics on our own and get those going. On Marlon and Chief show, I'm pretty much the producer. I produced visual and audio for the show. They're the hosts.
So you're the host on OOB, and then you're the producer on Marlon and Chief show.
Correct.
So you host and produce.
Correct.
And in this case, I don't have a job.
Okay, so
you
how
didn't
about
say, Z, you are the such and such. So before now, I was here's the mic. I'm going to set it up for you. I'm going to put it in front of your face, and then we're going to talk. That's what I've been doing. But you expect me to do all this other shit. Y'all all over there oiled up and going like a well machine. And how long have we been doing this podcast? And we're still not oiled up as a well machine. And you host and you produce?
Okay, so how about...
But you mad because I'm like, bruh, what we supposed to do? And you just like...
I'm not mad because you saying what we supposed to do. I'm not mad because you saying what we supposed to do. I'm not upset that you're following my lead. I understand that. I'm upset that you're putting all the blame on me when it's our podcast.
It is our podcast. But I'm not the host or the producer of any other podcast.
So you feel like you would be stepping out of line to be like, yo, let's get this podcast done?
Not necessarily. But if I have books that are doing well, and then I have one book that hasn't gotten off the ground, I have two books that are well-oiled machines and they function. I got one book over here being published. I got the other book over here being written. It's going over and it's edited. And then I have this one over here on the shelf being dusted. Then there's a problem in what I'm doing. If you have two well-oiled machines, this is not a well-oiled machine.
Also, I think that the podcast is falling behind because the vision has been dramatically altered. The vision has been dramatically handicapped. Like, we had a vision when we first started this podcast that we were going to come in. We were going to, as you guys can see through maybe episode 1 through 8 or maybe 1 through 10. We were going to come in. We were going to tell a lot of stories about our relationship and the timeline of our relationship, blah, blah, blah. And from that point, we were going to be getting those exact types of stories from other couples. That was going to be the nature of our podcast. At no point in time was the vision actually at all for us to like discuss celebrity stuff and to do reviews and stuff like that. Am I wrong?
No, you're right.
So I think that that vision was definitely imposed or was handicapped by a bunch of changes in our life, in our personal life. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because we planned on having our podcast setting be at a certain place, and that place was no longer available to us because, you know, of certain issues. Mm-hmm. And we ended up taking on another another space. We ended up trying to use another space to do our podcast with other couples. So I think that that's part of the reason why it's been lacking, I guess, in as far as us getting the repetition and getting the reps in and getting more episodes done. Part of it too, may, like you said, maybe, and I want to say that I'm not at all trying to absolve myself of all blame of why our podcast, that's why we've been falling off and not doing as many episodes as we should be doing. However, if I'm being honest, I do feel as though I'm always to blame for why our podcast is falling behind. And I feel as though it's unfair.
Okay.
So in the future, how about my lovely, beautiful, sexy wife, Z, how about she schedule the couples from now on?
Are you asking me? Or are you telling me?
I'm suggesting that be what we do in the future.
Okay. That's fine.
That's fine.
Yeah.
You with that?
I just said that was fine.
Are you willing to take on that role?
Okay. I don't know any other languages unless you want me to assign it to you, and then the people are not going to be able to.
I don't know if you don't know no other languages, because earlier you called me a chicken and you called me pollo.
Everybody know what chicken is in Spanish. So you might know other
languages.
Anyway, do you feel better now?
No.
Well, then we're not going to move. No. And I don't want to know what's going to make you feel better, because you know what? That's your problem. You always being nasty. This is not the time for you to be nasty. Hey, Boogie. How you doing? Want to say hi to people? Come over this side. Really? You gonna take a drink before you say hi to the people? Come over here. You need to get some more water. Say hello, people.
Hi.
I said say hello, people. Say hello, people.
Hi.
People.
People.
What's wrong?
Say hello, people.
You know what? You're not even gonna say that. You nervous? It's a microphone. Come here.
She's nervous.
Come say hello to the people. Say hello, people.
Hello, people.
See, you smell like ketchup. You eating? Why have you been biting on your straw? Look at that. Larry. All right. Say bye, people.
Bye, people.
Get out of here.
See you later.
See you later. Love you. Love you. Go ahead. What do you want?
So before we move on, though, I do want to understand the thought process and why do you always feel as though I don't care about this podcast?
I do. Did you see them? I do. Mine don't look like yours. Go ahead, Larry. Because I feel as though I'm not saying that you don't care about it. I just feel as though it goes by the wayside. It's like, we'll do it when we do it. It is what it is. And everything else, your other podcasts are structured. We've been doing this podcast for X amount of time, and we're just now, right at this moment, figuring out what my role that you want me to do is.
Well, I don't want to impose a role on you. I would rather you naturally have a role, naturally gravitate towards a role, something. You know what? I want to do this for our podcast. I don't want to be like, well, you do this and you do that. Because for the most part, those in certain other podcasts that I've worked, the roles have naturally played themselves out. I didn't appoint certain people or myself to do certain things. They just, well, I'm good at this and I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that.
I'm not a podcaster, so I did not know that that's not how it works, because it's not what I do.
I understand that. But you are a podcaster, though. You have done 20 episodes of a podcast that you are an equal host on.
Okay.
You're a podcaster. It's time for you, Z, to start accepting that you're a podcaster and putting that on your Instagram. Author/podcaster.
Okay.
And you got to stop saying, I don't do this.
This is not my everyday job or every week job, because it was supposed to be every week, but it turns out it's not every week.
Listen,
so
I want to say that
it's not something that I do all the time. So I'm fine with assigning or scheduling couples. That's fine. That's something that I have no problem with doing. But if we're going to continue with doing the podcast, that I need equal smoke that you give to everybody else. And I have not been getting equal smoke.
So you schedule the interview, you schedule the couples, and I will make it happen.
Well, how you gonna make it happen? I have to come to you and be like, okay, so let's say there was one for 2 weeks from now. I'm like, hey, they're available 2 weeks from now. Are we available? So then I'm like, hey.
Well, you're my wife. You know my schedule, and we have the time that we normally do podcasts with other couples, right?
Okay.
So we would probably normally just do it at that time. But you, my wife, you know the schedule. So if like say for example we need to do it on a Sunday, you know, if I'm busy on a Sunday, which I'm never busy on a Sunday.
Okay. Again,
I like this
you,
new roll. It looks good on you.
Again, I
Don't roll
ask
your
you, do you feel better?
Yeah. But like I said, I would have naturally got there, like I said.
Okay, well, maybe, but your whole attitude was funking up the place, and the chemistry, you was throwing off my chemistry, you was throwing off my mojo, with your little stinky attitude and your shade throwerage.
It was a nice shade though. It was a good shade. Like you were not.
It's fall.
Exposed.
I don't need no shade. All right, you ready to move on now? Or you still got something you need to say?
I want to say I've been trying. Okay, I've been trying. That was a point in time, like when we had the Hoyers lined up. We had the Hoyers lined up. Then we did the Hoyers, and then like the very following week, we were supposed to do
the throwers.
We had the throwers lined up, and then the throwers didn't fall through, and then we was like, well, I want to reschedule with the throwers first before we try to schedule somebody else, and then the throwers just didn't happen, and then we fell into another rut.
But it wasn't the throwers' fault.
It's not the throwers' fault.
Which we definitely do. We definitely do need to schedule them because we haven't had a collab in a very long time.
We need to schedule them first. I don't want to do another couple before we do the throwers again.
Okay, nobody said that we won't. Chill out.
Okay, I forgot you do the scheduling now.
Sheesh,
So I'm gonna leave that up to you.
all aggressive.
I like this roll. It looks nice on you. You want to get your name tag?
Sure.
Couple
Oh
scheduler.
my gosh, I forgot I had makeup on.
It's gonna say Z's couple scheduler. Who you wore makeup for this today?
First of all, there was some big wigs that came into the office today, and we're supposed to dress to impress.
You got a big wig, and it's not a wig either. Got big hair, baby.
Well, now that you finally acknowledged my hair, which is why you came on the podcast talking about, oh, you have nice hair, because it was such a big deal earlier. This need to be called the argued we back / argument.
Okay, so people were murdered in Mexico.
Oh, now we're talking about people who've been murdered. Okay, we can talk about that then.
That's hilarious. Well, I'm sorry. It's not hilarious that people were murdered, and maybe I shouldn't laugh while saying that.
I think everybody knows that you weren't laughing that people were murdered. You were laughing because you're trying to deflect.
You never know. People take shit out of context.
I said that just now.
You know how people take shit out of context, baby.
And those people can lick balls.
They probably good at it,
You
too.
know, some people do lick balls.
Some
That's
people are good
their
at
thing.
it. Okay, so be quiet, woman. So I think that's sad and tragic, the people, being massacred in Mexico. And it just brings them the negative stereotype, the negative, cloud that's over Mexico. I'd be scared as shit to go to Mexico. I ain't trying to go to Mexico. I
would want to live in like Cancun or somewhere where it's more like.
Niggas die in Cancun too.
What niggas you know? When was the last time you seen Cancun on the news? Exactly. Shut your ass up. All I'm saying is.
When the last time you seen Chicago on the news? But you know that niggas is dying every day, B.
Chicago don't be on the news because whenever news crew come out there, they die too. I wouldn't fucking show nothing either. Shit, get a bullet in the ass just for going down there. I'm never going to Chicago ever in my life. I like living.
Recently, people at my job took a trip to Chicago, to our Chicago branch. I wish they would have invited me. I wish they would have invited me. I could use that over time. They get the clock, like when they get on the flight to go or come back, they clock in.
Oh, okay, cool.
You know that bitch?
How long
you
is
know
that
who
flight?
you know who they take to?
Who?
You don't gotta say the name, but yeah, that nigga.
The driver? Ew, why did they take him? Man, they secretly like him. They try to act like they don't like the nigga. You take him to Chicago.
My supervisor be saying, like when I was fucking with him about it, like yesterday, matter of fact, he was like, I was saying, Mark, I don't know what we got to do to, get taken on company trips and, get some overtime. I need some money in my pocket too. I don't think it's fair that every time there is a trip where one of us is needed to go out of town, it's the exact same person every time. I think that those opportunities should be spread out. Mm-hmm. I think that everybody should have an opportunity to make that money. Mm-hmm. Shouldn't just be on one person. Mm-hmm. But, and I was at first I was joking, but then it got real serious. And I was like, well, I don't know. Maybe we need to work harder. Like, maybe we don't work hard enough. Mm-hmm. Knowing in my head, we work harder than this person does. Mm-hmm. Oh, no, it's not that. No, it's not that. I mean, if you want to go, you probably should work less. I mean, I'd rather him not be here, and I need you guys here. But that's not fair, though. So you're basically saying...
so they're saying that he gets to go because production ain't gonna... It ain't gonna be no lapse in production. It's gonna be just like he was here because he don't do nothing.
Basically. It's like the shit
he said you should work less.
It's like the shit that I tell you a lot of times where you become victim of your own success. Mm-hmm. Where you work so good, I need you here. You can't. But motherfucker, I need extra money. And I think I should have the opportunity to do that because I work my ass off.
So when is the next trip?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't care because they're not gonna let us go. It's gonna be the same person. Plus, I also think because the person that goes, not my direct supervisor, the other one, mm-hmm. The person that goes, he likes him. Like, I think they go and they have fun. I think they just have fun together.
Possibly.
So,
well,
even though at the party he almost got his ass whooped by his cousin. So,
well, the Lord willing, you won't be that long.
Oh yeah, couple months. So, what's wrong with my legs? You don't like my legs?
Why do you always sit like that with your legs straight out? You look like a fork. Like, what is you doing? You look like the fork with the two thing, the two-tong fork.
What is a fork that like that? It's called a certain thing, ain't it?
I don't know. What is it? The two-tong fork?
Yeah, don't you talk about like they usually use like cookouts?
Yeah, and it pierces the meat.
I forgot what that fork is called.
I'm gonna look it up.
It's messed up, bro.
But you look like that.
So yeah, the negative stereotype. I don't know how we got off into me talking about my damn 9 to 5.
Because you was talking about Chicago, and then somebody got to go to Chicago.
But yes, people, if you listen to this podcast, I do have a 9 to 5, and you could change that if you just like get our podcast out there more. You can help me not have to work my 9 to 5. So I'm pleading to you guys to help me out with that. All right, 33 minutes in. Damn, that's crazy. 33 minutes in. So I don't want to linger too much on these sad topics. I do think, like I said, I think it's messed up, and I think it does put a negative cloud over Mexico for those people that are like myself that are...
Carving fork.
It's a carving fork?
That's what it's called.
Okay.
A two-pronged fork used to hold meat steady while it is being carved.
Oh, a carving. So I look like a carving fork?
Carving fork in its hoe.
Wow. Okay.
I'm sorry to interrupt what you're saying.
No, I was just saying I don't want to dwell on the negatives too long, but I do think that it puts a negative cloud over Mexico, and especially for people like myself who are ignorant and not knowledgeable to the great things about Mexico. You know what I'm saying? It makes people like me, not want to go there,
Right. I mean, yeah, you're right. But a lot of places have those negative stereotypes.
Chicago is one.
Man, I ain't never going
to Chicago. A lot of people that have experienced one of the great things about Chicago, which is the taste of Chicago, I think it's called, all rave about it and say that it's something that should be on your bucket list.
Not worth a bullet, and you ain't going either.
We're gonna go one day in our future.
No,
we don't have to discuss that now.
No, we are gonna discuss right now.
I'm not telling you that we will. I'm saying that I believe that one day in our future we will go.
Well, I'm believing that one day in our future we're not gonna go.
What if there's a bag there?
That bag was so that bag is worth your life.
What if, Simone? You don't think that it's possible that you could take a trip to Chicago and come out alive?
We gonna need to take
no one in the history
steal with us or art. We need somebody who got street cred.
Still ain't got no street cred. African American. African American.
You don't know his life.
Damn, Mike's acting like this.
You don't know his life and what he about. He could be a killer. You don't know.
He could be a killer.
Exactly. So anyway, if I ever go, it's gonna be with somebody who lived there. I'm not never going. Anyways, so there's Chicago, there is Mexico, there is, I know me personally, I don't ever really want to go to Mississippi or Alabama because I don't feel like being lynched and then being the niggers, the strange fruits. And which, you know, they probably don't even lynch people no more. All I think of KKK when I think about it. But then again, you can say the same thing about people who may want to go to Virginia or Georgia, even though they don't do that anymore in Virginia. Well, now that we know.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, maybe that we know.
So, but yeah, places do definitely get a negative stereotype. They get a negative rap.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Another thing out there in the world is this damn Popeyes chicken sandwich is back. And I
didn't even know they went away.
Yeah, they sold out.
I know one thing. Trill 3 is pissed.
Well,
he can't stand these damn chicken sandwiches.
Well, that's what I wanted to talk about too, because me and Leah were actually researching. Hey, bruh, it's me.
So loud. See, now she want to come out here because we actually calling her ass. Leah.
Excuse us while I'm trying to. She don't know. I don't even know why I'm asking her. Look at Puddle. You hear Puddles?
Yeah, she almost fell out of it.
Hey, do you remember the thing that we were researching this morning?
Ooh.
About the Popeyes chicken sandwich? Do you remember where that was? Huh?
Maryland?
It was in Maryland, yes.
Mainland?
I remember now because she couldn't say she was like Maryland. She couldn't say Maryland.
I know one thing. Y'all better not have crumbs all over.
Well, they're going to be here with chicken up the...
make sure I want you to smooth it out.
Listen now, this is one of the most unique podcasts you've ever experienced. Nowhere in the history of podcasts do you get a couple living their normal lives, talking to their kids while they podcasting. This is unique, and this is why we are the best podcast out there in the world.
Make sure you
taking this shit to the next level. God damn it.
My damn crumbs off. Okay, you can go now.
All right, we just needed to know.
Did you want to say hi to the people?
Look, you see how fast she turned around?
This way.
She turned around like Puddles when you hear the rustling of a tree bag.
Ain't it? Okay, introducing Brett. It's me.
Hi, guys.
Yeah, what the hell?
What's up, baby?
Hey, Brett. It's me. How you doing?
Good.
Coming to you.
We ain't talked to you in a long time. Brett. It's me.
Talking to the mic.
Yeah.
You ain't gotta be all up on me. Say hello.
Hi.
Say hi, people. They can't see you smiling.
Hi, duh, people.
You want to say hi to Zusky? Say hi, Zusky. Say hi. You done got him all round up. He sound congested. You hear him?
That's because his ass sick. I bet he's sick.
He is sick. Eating your nasty snot tissues.
Yeah, that's nasty.
I'd be sick too. Okay, y'all get the hell out of here.
Come on, Blackface. Get out of here.
You guys need the Popeyes chicken thing.
We were talking about it, and I wanted to get my facts straight about where it was happening at. So no, let me go ahead and let's get us back on track because we is running time. So in Maryland, somewhere in Maryland at the Popeyes, because they brought the chicken sandwich back. I think it came back on this past Sunday, which was petty as fuck that they brought the chicken sandwich back on a Sunday.
That is not petty. That is great marketing.
That was petty. It was petty, great marketing. Anyway, they brought it back this past Sunday, and it's been pandemonium since it came back. Apparently, according to the story in Maryland, someone cut in line. Not sure if they were like standing in line or whether this was like in the drive-through line or something like that. But somebody cut in line, and an argument then ensued between someone in the line and the person that cut line. Now, I'm not quite sure because the story that I read did not indicate who was which, but at some point in time, this argument turned into a physical altercation, which ended up one of them being stabbed to death over a chicken sandwich.
Right.
Now, we both tasted the chicken sandwich. I'm going to ask you, was the chicken sandwich good enough to die for?
No,
Was
nothing
it-
is good enough to die for.
Well, you're good
unless
enough to die for, babe.
it's- Thank you, babe. Unless it's me saving my family,
Right.
then it's nothing is good enough to die for. I have tasted the chicken sandwich.
It's pretty good, right?
It was pretty good. But I don't think that, I mean, if I'm going to compare it,
You don't think it's
'Cause-
good as Chick-fil-A?
I like my spicy chicken sandwich with the, pepper jack cheese and the bacon wrapped in lettuce with my, unsweet Honor Palmer. That's my shit with a little sriracha sauce. That is me.
So it won't replace Chick-fil-A for
No,
you.
because I still get cravings for Chick-fil-A. I've never gotten
But
a
if you got a craving
for,
on a Sunday, you go hit Popeyes. Get that substitute.
I don't know if it's still. I don't know if it's gonna hit the spot. I don't know if they have Popeye's chicken sandwich wrapped in lettuce.
I don't think they do. Also, it's to my belief, I haven't had them since they brought them back out, but it's to my belief, I bet the new wave of sandwiches aren't as good as the first ones.
Probably not. But I mean, I just think. But people have died for less. People die for stupid stuff all the time. I just think it's, unfortunately Popeyes is getting a bad rep. It's not necessarily Popeyes' fault that,
not at all.
no, but I'm saying like most people just like, oh my gosh, it's a chicken sandwich. It's a fucking chicken sandwich. People's going and losing their mind over it.
It's
I
the
don't
people fault.
necessarily think that, it's the chicken sandwich that people are losing their mind for. The fact that someone is rude, you find rude people everywhere. For example, I was just telling someone this other day that we be in the grocery store, me and the girls be in the grocery store, and I like to stand up against the other aisle while I'm looking at whatever's in front of me to give people a chance to walk through if they decide that they want to walk down the aisle. What I don't like is when people stand directly in front of
you hate that shit so
and
much.
then they start looking in the direction that you're looking at as if I'm not standing there. That shit gets on my fucking nerves because
You hate that shit
it's
so
like,
much.
move, nigger bitch, get the fuck out of here. Nobody cares if you're looking at. So that's just the most rude and nasty. That's up to me. That's up there as if someone spit in my face. Like, that's just blatant disrespect for someone to stand in front of you with their back to you as if you don't mean shit and look in the same direction that you looking at. That's the most disrespectful shit. So you could say, and I mean, at that point in time, normally I have my children with me, so I don't like to show my ass in front of my children because I like to conduct myself in a manner in which, don't let your crown slip. So I just normally make an example out of the person and be like, this person is very rude and disrespectful and all of that. Don't be like this person. But what I really want to say is you see this fucking rude ass bitch that's sitting in front of me and punch him in the back of the head is what you really want to do. However, that would cause a physical altercation. So you could always be like, people fighting in the canned food aisle. No, it's not about the canned foods. It's about the principle. It's about that you were being disrespectful to me at that time. So I feel as though in this situation, it just so happens that I'm trying to get me some lunch, some chicken sandwich, and a person just think that they're gonna be rude and disrespectful to me. Now it ain't even about the fucking chicken sandwich anymore. It's about the fact that you are being rude to me. You're disrespecting me, and I'm just supposed to accept it. I'm just supposed to take it. And then, depends on what happens. If you're just like, hey, you can't cut me, it could have been as small as you can't cut me, or nah, you're not going to cut me, or you need to go to the back. Like, it could have been something as small as someone standing up for themselves, and the other person could have been irate. They could have been like, bitch, I'd fucking cut whoever the fuck I want to cut. And it just could have been nasty. If someone was like, oh, my bad, I didn't see that you were standing there or whatever, the person may not have lost their life. So I'm pretty sure that it was just rude after that. And then it was, who knows how it started. But I don't think it's like, people dying over chicken sandwiches. It's not, they didn't die over the chicken sandwich. They died because they got into a fight because somebody was being rude. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, so I just sped read through a little bit of the update. I didn't know that they didn't catch this guy. They're still looking for him. So the guy that stabbed the chicken, what were you about to say? You was about to do some First 48 shit, weren't you?
I was like, the chicken sandwich killer.
Yeah.
That's not funny.
Yeah. If you don't know what I mean by First 48, the example that a lot of people are using, First 48 is so
my favorite is
fucked up. It's so fucked up by the name of some of the episodes. Like the running joke example right now is that a guy could get shot in a pizzeria and the name of the episode would be The Last Slice.
I don't see how that's fucked up though.
Because that's like, come on.
It's not.
Because he was in the pizzeria, so he got the last slice, right?
That's the last slice of his life. That's not necessarily bad. I don't know. Don't talk about my show.
I ain't gonna talk about your show, baby.
Okay.
So I just read through it, and when I didn't know that they have not caught this guy, I hope that they catch him. The guy, I figured out who is who. The guy who jumped line was the one who got killed. The guy who jumped line was the one who got killed. So
the last cut. I should be a first
the last
48.
cutlet.
Yeah, I was
Simone,
like,
it's not funny.
No, I'm not. Okay, I'm not laughing because the guy died. I should
Laughing
be
at
on
the first 48 titles.
First 48 because I could have been like you can't just be rude and disrespectful to people. Now that doesn't excuse the dude from I poke niggas. It doesn't excuse him for stabbing him because nothing.
Cut for cutting. Cut for a cut.
Shut up,
we going to hell.
Like, I'm not going. Jesus loves me. This I know. Okay? Don't send me because you over here. I said that I'm not necessarily you still going.
Yeah, listen, this chicken sandwich shit is crazy, man.
I don't think it's about the chicken sandwich shit. You just get you get different walks of life. You get different people coming to get one thing. This could happen anywhere. And I just think that it's just another way for the media. I mean, I'm not saying that we ain't out here acting a donkey, but there's plenty of shit that other people get killed for. But we just get the spotlight. Whenever it's something negative, I feel as though black folk always get the spotlight shined on them. We over here dying over, stop grinding your teeth. Black people over here dying over chicken sandwiches. They're like, black motherfuckers like chicken so damn much. They had Kool-Aid and grape soda too.
Yeah,
you know, like,
I
I just feel as
saying.
though it's more of a limelight because it's us acting the fool. But I bet you, hey, calm your ass down. But I bet you if it was somebody out here giving away free chicken sandwiches to the homeless people, I bet you won't see that shit. I bet you won't see them all up on the news with, you know, you get the limelight on what social media wants it to get on. However, I do agree that we should not be at Popeyes acting a fool. But then sometimes, you know what?
I agree with you. I agree with you. Oh, go ahead, say what you say.
I'm gonna say it. Sometimes I don't like to go to the black person that's about to be my customer service agent. Only because sometimes we, you know, it's always, the black women are so angry. That shit is not too far-fetched, though, because I have had a couple instances where I've been very nice and polite and just say, oh, hello, how you doing this afternoon or whatever, and you get somebody with a fucking attitude, and you just be like, look, okay, black people, we need to do better. We wouldn't get the angry stereotypes if we weren't so fucking angry. You at work. Don't nobody want to be at work. Sorry, you got to pay your bills just like me. If you don't want me to say hello, how's your day and all that other stuff, maybe you shouldn't work around people.
You shouldn't
work in the back
service.
making them fucking chicken sandwiches and you ain't got to talk to no fucking body.
Yeah, and I agree with what you were saying about it not necessarily being over the chicken sandwich, because I think that the tempers were high in this situation because it's obviously a long line. A bunch of people are waiting for this one thing. So it's nobody. I'm pretty sure there's not many people in the world that. What's going on?
I'm listening. Go ahead.
No, I'm just watching. I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure there's not many people in the world that will not take some type of offense to standing and waiting patiently in line for something, and somebody just walking up and cutting in front of the line like y'all wasn't waiting.
When you know how when they doing construction work on the road and you got those 2 lanes that merge into one. Sometimes that does piss me off, even though I am guilty of being on the other lane that merges over. But it does when I'm waiting in the one line and you've been waiting for a good 10 minutes in that line and you going at snail's pace, and then you just got these cars that just zoom up past all the cars that's been waiting, and then they try to put their blinker and forcefully make you stop and pull over and run you off the road so that they can get in between you and the car in front of you. Sometimes you do get a lot of people that basically kiss the person's bumper in front of them because it's like, no, you haven't waited like we waited. And that can get close the door, Leah. That does tend to make people mad. So, I mean, I can understand why that's frustrating, why I've been doing what I was supposed to do. I've been waiting, and you just gonna cut me, and then, something could have been said. Who knows? The person who was cut, they could have been aggressive, like, nah, motherfucker, you ain't gonna cut me, We don't know.
What you gonna do?
Yeah, we ain't go, hey, what you go, and then there's a fight, So, we don't know exactly what happened, but
it just sucks because they said children were there, and, you see somebody get cut like that, to death in front of them. Yeah. That's just really sad. It just makes you not want to be near a Popeyes. Like, don't want to be near none of this pandemonium.
Not necessarily. Not to me. To me, that shit happen. That shit can happen at any time. You can be anywhere. And you get an ignorant motherfucker. Black, white, Asian, German, French.
Never mind, Leah.
Whatever.
Can you give me that, babe?
Shit happens in any point in time. Wherever you go. Go ahead, Leah.
That's true.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
That's true.
Yes, it's ma'am. For real. I thought you was ready. We can't have no dead air. Get out of here. Anyway, so we can't have like I said, it can happen anywhere. It can happen wherever you go. And I know one thing, I'm still going to be getting them Popeyes green beans if I won't. Shit can happen. You can go to Walmart. You can go to a mattress store. You can go anywhere. And someone can act a fucking ass.
That's true. I mean, you're right. Again, because like I said, I think that it's deeper than just a chicken sandwich. It is. I think that the fact that you have people waiting patiently in line and then someone literally cuts, and they were saying it was to the front of the line. Like, It wasn't like I just cut behind in between somebody. It was like, literally, I'm in front of the line now.
Yeah, like he walked in and went straight to the counter.
Came in the store and went straight to the counter. So,
there was
not saying that was enough for the man to die.
No, but they was on some disrespectful shit when they first came into the store. But you're right. It's not enough for someone to die. I don't care what they did. It's really not enough to take someone else's life.
It's not. It's not enough to die for. It's not enough to kill for. So, prayers for that family. Prayers for both families, because when something tragic like this happens, it doesn't just affect one person's family. It affects multiple families. And it's unfortunate. You wish something like this wouldn't happen, but, it just sucks that it's happened over something so basic. Yeah. So prayers to those families, and hopefully justice is served in that situation. Yep. Moving on. We were gonna talk about toxic masculinity and femininity. Mm-hmm. But I think we don't got enough time. I think we should, to give that topic, I don't really want to talk about that topic because because one of the memes that I posted today, I think kind of falls into that. Mm-hmm. And I really want to give that topic its just due. At some point in time, we are also going to talk about religion, how it divides people, and if Jesus is the only way to God.
He is.
We will discuss that at one point, maybe our next episode. Maybe we'll do another episode this week.
Are we going to do another episode?
I mean, I don't know, scheduler.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, all right. You're not taking your job seriously.
I'm working on myself.
You working on
'Cause I'm
yourself?
trying to get into heaven. So if I don't have anything nice to say,
Oh, you had something mean to say to me just now? You want to get it out?
then did you not just hear that I'm trying to get into heaven?
You want to get it out?
Are
'Cause
we ending the
we can-
podcast? Or are you going to tell me what you had to tell me when we
We're not ending the podcast yet.
Okay, then tell me what you
You
had
look
to say.
tired though.
I am tired, and I have not eaten yet. And it took you 3 hours to get the podcast up and rolling.
Well, I thought we were gonna read first, but okay.
I understand. Because I almost was asleep and was going to be like, we're going to do this another day.
I still think we should do another podcast another day, but
We can do another podcast another day. I didn't say that we
will.
weren't going to do one. I was just making sure that podcast Poppy, make sure we have time.
That's right. Make sure you put some respect on Poppy when you say it, girl.
Yeah. Respect on OOB and Marlon and Chief.
Make sure you put some respect on Poppy.
What
Say
do
it
you
now.
have
Say it
to
again
say?
with
Or
some-
I'm about to leave
Can you
this.
say podcast Poppy sexy?
No, I'm not going to say.
Please.
I'm not saying no.
Please.
Can you please tell me what you had to say?
If I tell you, you're gonna say podcast Poppy sexy.
No, I'm
You
not
gotta be like-
going to.
You gotta be like podcast
No,
Poppy.
I'm not going to. Hey, me,
Why?
you keep making me take off my. Come on, can we please?
All right, fine. I'm not gonna get it, I guess. So
for real, you gonna have the disappointed.
yeah,
So,
I thought I was gonna get sexy podcast Poppy.
no, I will say it sexy to you when we're not on.
What? I need that as a drop. Because I need it as a drop.
No,
Like whenever I work on a show, it's just gonna be like, podcast Poppy.
You so dumb. Not right now. You're not getting that. No,
Okay.
I'm tired.
All right, one of these episodes, I'm gonna get my drop. So
You so dumb. You so dumb.
so
Goodness.
So Charlamagne and Angela Yee are assumed to be kind of at odds. So you might have heard about this. There was a point in time a while back, maybe even a year or so more ago, where Gucci Mane was on the Breakfast Club and he accused Angela Yee of being on his dick at some point in time, of trying to get with him in the past, which she denied. And then, this was a while back. And then recently...
She denied?
Huh?
She denied?
Yeah, she denied.
Okay.
And then recently, Gucci brought it up again. And then at that point in time, Angela Yee felt the need to defend herself because it was being brought up again, which she claimed that normally she does not give these things. She does not give these things any attention. But since it was being rehashed, she wanted to defend herself.
I'm sorry. He also said that because of whatever they talked about on that show, that because I saw something and I didn't know what it was about, because stuff, it has to hold my attention. If not, you only get like a couple seconds and I'm moving on.
Right.
But when he was saying it, I didn't know exactly what he was talking about, but he kept saying that he would drop something or do something and he would try to go to the Breakfast Club and they'd be like, nah, we're not available, or nah, that slot is not open, or he kept getting declined.
Yeah, he was saying he was banned. He was saying he was banned from the Breakfast Club.
Then he asked straight up and was like, okay, the last several times that I've tried to go to the Breakfast Club, it's been one conflict after another. Am I banned? And then the person that they were talking to was like, yeah, basically you are.
Well, I don't know who the person was that said he was banned, but Angela, Envy, and Charlamagne all said that he wasn't banned.
Well, he didn't talk to Angela, Charlamagne, or Envy. It was some person that, you know how somebody's manager has to go to somebody else's manager. And they asked, and he was like, "Yeah, basically you're banned."
I think that it was one of those things where they were like, we would want to. I think there was a thing because Angela had said that he's not banned, but if you guys were to bring him up here, I wouldn't be here. I would sit that one out, which is understandable, right? Mm-hmm. I know women. We know women. Well, I know as much as I know about women. I know that women take their body counts very seriously.
He didn't say she fucked him.
Well, I guess not body counts, but it's like a situation that you told me about a long time ago where a guy had said that he had slept with you recently. It was very offensive to you.
Hell yeah, I was pissed off. And you don't lie on all of these goods. Okay, like, no, my dick. No,
Yeah,
I don't.
And this wasn't when I'm saying this, and I wasn't saying this was recent. I'm saying that in that moment he had said that he had slept with you recently.
Yeah.
In that moment. So, but so I know women take these type of things pretty seriously. So I can see why she took it really seriously. Now that's not the part that I'm saying that Charlamagne and Yee are at odds about. So there was a point in time where there was an interview that was supposed to be done with Gucci. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yee did not want to do this interview with him. This was not at the Breakfast Club, but they were supposed to go and do the interview. Mm-hmm. Yee didn't want to do the interview. Envy riding with Yee saying, if she's not going to do it, I'm not going to do it, because there's no reason why I'm going to go interview you unless you guys are going to fix what's going on between y'all. Mm-hmm. However, Charlamagne still did the interview. Mm-hmm. He did the interview alone, and he posted the interview on his new YouTube channel. And during the interview, now I want to put a pin right there. So, possible offense number one. Charlamagne did the interview, even though Yee didn't want to do the interview. Mm-hmm. During the interview, Gucci said some crazy shit, and he called her out of her name and stuff like that during the interview. Charlamagne never once stood up for Yee. And still posted every piece of the interview on his YouTube channel. So that's part number two. And then this was not mentioned. Well, only this was brought up when they said that Yee stopped following Charlamagne on Instagram. She unfollowed him on Instagram or something like that. Which is, to me, I hate when people like put so much stock into that. Like I get it. Some people will unfollow you because they don't fuck with you no more, but it's just an unfollow.
Yeah, people hold social media to this high extent. So if you get unfollowed, it's like, oh.
Right, yeah. So, and then on a recent show, she was on another show promoting her lip service podcast. And
took them on? Cool.
Yeah. That's where the shit happened with Take.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we should talk about that one day too. But it's old now. Well, this is kind of old too. But I wanted to get your opinion on it because it's relevant to how women feel. So on this show that she was promoting lip service, they asked her about it, and it was the first time she actually spoke about the situation. And all she really said was, if you had somebody, one of you, she was at a radio station, she was asking them, if you had an interview with somebody and they were talking ill about a lady, a coworker that you said, like calling them out of their name, stuff you can't really even repeat on the radio. Like, you can't say this. They were talking bad about them. Would you stand up for them? Would you at least be like, hey, don't talk about that person like that? Blah, 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 whatever. Some people look at this and be like, well, are they really friends or are they just coworkers?
Okay, hold on. Because I'm going to lose my train of thought. I used to smoke weed. So, one, I don't believe that Charlamagne was wrong for doing the interview.
Okay.
Because, just like you said before, when Envy and Charlamagne were going to do the interview, she said, I'm just going to sit this one out. So it was never a problem for anybody to interview him. She always said that she wasn't going to be there. So I believe that is not a problem for him to do it in the first place. Now, there is a problem that if you my man $100,000 and this motherfucker over here is saying bitch this and bitch that, and they are talking about me illy, and you don't have my back, and I see you every single day, and again, you supposed to be my man $100,000, we're gonna have a problem with that. That's just like if someone feels comfortable to come and I'm not around to come to you, be like, yeah, whoop-de-whoop, and whatever to you, and you don't say anything, and you come back and tell me, or I hear about it, oh yeah, they was over there talking shit about you, and Verse was over there. Okay, hold on, just tell me what Verse said to defend me, and if there's nothing, then I got a problem with you. We don't fuck with each other, so I'm not surprised that he said something bad about me, but I'm surprised that he felt so fucking comfortable to say in front of your ass about it, and you ain't knuckle up with him. That's gonna be an issue.
You would expect something at least like a, hey, like I understand you guys are beefing right now, and you can say how you feel, but let's not call her out of her name. Like let's what I'm saying?
Let's keep this professional. Or let's keep this, let's not go there.
So even if it wasn't like on some, oh man, don't be talking about her like that.
But you should have just stepped in and be like, yo, we're not doing that. Like, you know, you can say whatever you got to say, but you don't have to. All the smoke is not necessary. Say something on my behalf. I don't give a fuck what it is. If you said something or attempted to say something, that's better than not saying anything at all. Now, also, this situation is kind of funny to me. Not haha funny, but it's kind of like, because K. Michelle had the same conversation with Yee a while ago, because I guess somebody came in to the station and they did, I don't know who it was, I just remember bits and pieces, but somebody came into the station doing an interview and someone said something,
I think it was Mano, about
K. Michelle, and she said absolutely nothing. Now you want to go, oh, well, someone should have stood up for a woman, and they said this, and you said this about a woman. Karma does come back. Hold on. Karma does come back, doesn't it? Because K. Michelle was pissed off that you, being a woman, did not defend me. We not friends, no, but you see this person over here talking shit about me, and you as a woman don't feel like, you know, okay, hold on, you know, she not here to defend herself, or you really going in on this woman, and me as a woman, I don't think that you should say X, Y, and Z. No, your ass was over there laughing and thinking that shit was funny just like everybody else. Not saying that she didn't have the right to do that. Hey, if she thought it was funny, she thought it was funny. But now that the shoe's on the other foot, now you all protesting, oh, I am a woman and you should have stood up for me. Yeah. Now you know how it feels, now don't you? Well, hold on, just a second. I'm sorry. Not saying that she doesn't deserve to be respected. Like, don't take my words out of context. Not saying that she doesn't deserve to be respected, but this is a aha moment for Yee personally. Just like, now you know what K. Michelle felt. But that does not excuse, I was going to say Future. That does not excuse Gucci for being disrespectful. And the issue is that Charlamagne did not stand up for her, which I'm not surprised that Charlamagne didn't stand up for her, because I still feel as though he's a selfish ass bastard. He has his moments where it's just like, good job, Charlamagne.
He has grown.
You're trying. But he still has that little selfish ass bastard mentality in him as well. I'm sorry for interrupting you.
A leopard don't change his stripes or his spots. A leopard don't change his spots.
Sometimes they do. The people do change.
I mean, the spots are still there.
They're within though, and everybody has a chance to grow, and I'm not saying that, you know, everybody falls short. So yes, and you know, sometimes you do still have to, you have some growing to do still.
I'm just saying that they don't change their spots. They can cover them up, but the spots are still there. And I'm saying that I think Charlamagne has grown tremendously and is well aware of the negative things that he does. But he still has that mentality. He still has that thing in him, because I think it's just who he is. I wanted to say two things about the K. Michelle thing. You don't feel like that's different in this situation compared to this situation, because I don't think K. Michelle and Yee have a relationship. We would say that Angela Yee and Charlamagne have a relationship.
It's different in that aspect, because I believe they're talking about something about K. Michelle pussy stink or something like that. Now, yes, it is different as far as K. Michelle and Yee were not friends, or so we don't know. But from what we know is that they weren't really friends. But you as a woman, now I have been in.
Do you feel like you would do that?
Yes, I have been in plenty of situations where someone is bad talking someone else, and it's just like, and everybody else is laughing.
And what's the extent that you know that person that they're talking about?
I don't, not necessarily. Like there's a couple things that people say, you know, at the place that we work at is one thing or another. Someone can say pretty much, and if someone can say something about someone, and people just be laughing about it, and I just be like. Okay, so for example, there is this older lady that came to help me with something that I needed help with on something that I was doing. She came, showed me, whatever. She's a kind of person that she's nosy, so she kind of lingered around. Now, while she was there, you know, of course, me and a couple other people was talking, and. You know, we're talking whatever, and while she was there, someone else needed help. So while I'm still over there running my mouth talking to those people, she goes and she gets up and she farts. And it was loud. Now, I didn't necessarily know that it sounded like a fart, but you don't just automatically be like, oh, she farted. But it shocked her, so she was like, oh, excuse me, you know? And so I was in my mind, I was like, oh my gosh, she just farted. But, you know, I didn't pay any attention to it because it's a fart. You know, like at the end of the day, we all fart, whatever. So she went, whatever. So a couple people thought they heard it, didn't really know if they heard it. And so when me and a couple other people were talking, you know, it basically came out that she farted. Now, I have sat by her for the last couple years. Last 2 years I've been in the department that I'm in. So I wouldn't say that we're friends, but I know you, and I feel as though that's kind of like Angela Yee and K. Michelle. They may not be friends, but I know you. Like, I know you. So it's not that we cool to the fact that I knuckle up for, depends on the situation, of course. Right. But, you know, then maybe the next day, the people in front of me, they just start laughing and joking about it. And, you know, it's like, it's whatever. It's like, you know, whatever. Oh, my gosh, you farted. Da, da, da. Okay, whatever. But then it started to get to the point where it was beating a dead horse. And now you're really talking about her. Like, you're talking about her as a person. And you're just saying shit. These same people are people that whenever they need something, they call on her first. So by this time, I'm starting to get annoyed because it's like, okay, you're not even talking about the situation anymore. Now you're attacking her as a person, but you know in 5 minutes when you need help with some shit, you gonna call her. First. Yeah. Like, you two-faced ass bitch. Yeah. And this is a dude that I'm talking about. Right. So
is that the dude?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So then then after that, the last time the next time he decided to say something, I cut his ass off. And I was just like, yo, you really over here talking shit. Like, at first it was just like, okay, whatever. We all knew the situation. Chuckle, whatever, you let it go. But, like, you want some childish ass shit now. You're now attacking her as a person when you know that if you need help, you're going to call on her. I said, so you know what? Since you find this shit so fucking funny, how about we just go ahead and tell her about all the shit that you over here saying? And we'll see if she still finds it funny then. And, you know, they were just like, oh no, like, why are you gonna do all that? Like, no, we think it's funny. We over here causing a whole big scene and we mocking her and we doing the same thing that she did at the time. And now you're just like, oh, well, she does this and she does that. That's way different than the situation that you're talking about. No, how about we all laugh? How about she come over here and laugh too, since you over here talking about her? Yeah, then it was just like,
that's whole shit. I hate that.
Yeah.
If you're gonna say it, then be willing to say it in their face.
Exactly. But then it's just like, oh, you're not gonna tell her. Try me and tell me that I'm not gonna tell her. I will slam tell her. And the only reason why I kind of didn't want to tell her is because I knew it would hurt her feelings. But I'm just like, you're not gonna just be over here talking about this woman, one, as if you would say that shit to her face, and as if you don't talk to her all the time. So in that situation, yes, you do stand up for that person because they're not there to defend themselves, and it's not right. Like, for a group of guys to sit here and talk about a woman and whatever the case may be, it's like, it depends on if, like, oh, if such and such, oh, she fell. Oh, okay, she fell. You get your 3 chuckles in and you leave it alone. But then if she fell and then her skirt came up, then, oh, her pussy came out. Oh, and then it smelled like fish. Then now it's something else. Yeah. And now it's just like, okay, you're taking that shit too far and you're being disrespectful. So I feel as though that, you know, in that situation, when it became to the point where it became disrespectful, she should have stood up and said something. But that's anybody. In any situation. If they being disrespectful around you, you don't have to follow suit. That's funny. No, it's not. Like, chill out.
Now, I do want to say that on that note, I was gonna add that at some point in time, but you said it first. There's a bunch of people saying that this shit is just kind of karma to Yee because she's messy as fuck, and you know what I'm saying, she talks about people a lot. And there's people compare her to Wendy, which I had a thing I wanted to talk about Wendy too, and we can just kind of real quick because everybody has the same opinion about Wendy. But you know, like that she talks, but I think, you know, that's her job. She does the rumor report or whatever. I listened to most of the rumor reports and the Donkey of the Days, and Charlamagne's donkey of the days are way more disrespectful than the rumor reports.
I will have to agree because I don't really listen to the rumor report or the donkey of the day unless you send it to me. And when I do listen to the rumor report, it sounds
reporting.
like she's just stating facts.
Yeah.
She does not provide her opinion one way or the other of how she feels. She's just saying, hey, this is what happened.
And usually the format of the rumor report is her stating the report, her doing the reporting, and Charlamagne and Envy giving their opinion on what she's reporting.
So I will agree with that. I don't necessarily listen to Yee enough to be like she's messy, but I do know that when I do think of Yee, I do think of that whole K. Michelle shit that did happen because that's one of the things that I did watch. And I kind of like the fact...
with K. Michelle on that?
I like the fact that K. Michelle was woman enough to come back to the show and was like...
She put her ass in her place,
She did. But I appreciate it.
He was quiet like the rest of the interview.
She was. And I was just like, good enough for your ass. Only because she didn't get on. She didn't have Twitter fingers. She wasn't like, oh, let me say this shit. Let me do this shit here or there. She came back to the show and was like, you know what? I got a problem with you. This is why I have a problem with you. Face to face. Let's do this. And it wasn't even
on no... She didn't expect that shit either.
Yeah, it wasn't, because she was like, they was laughing about something and she was like, and you, and then she was just like, what I do, kind of thing. But I like the fact that she did tell her face to face and was like, this is why I have a problem with you, X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, K. Michelle seems like that type of...
I really respect a lot of stuff that K. Michelle does. I don't necessarily like, but I did definitely respect that. So I can't really say one way or the other if I feel as though she's like Wendy Williams. Wendy Williams is messy.
Yeah, we'll get on that in a second. I wanted to bring up, you okay? You need some water?
Yeah, but Boogie took it.
Here.
I'm not drinking after you, fool.
Yeah, that's right.
Go ahead.
Leah.
I'm good.
You sure?
I'm good.
I guess Leah's our like podcast assistant. Get us drinks.
She's
and
our
stuff
assistant
like
of the house.
Yeah, we those parents. Before we got off the Charlamagne and Angela Yee thing, I did want to ask you this, your opinion on this. Now, we were talking about K. Michelle's relationship with Yee versus Charlamagne's relationship with Yee. Now, are we to just assume that they are close friends?
No, but I don't.
And is it even possible to work with someone for almost 10 years and not be close to them?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, I can only say good morning to you. I can only good morning. There's people that I work with for the last 5 years. Good morning, and that's about it. Like, we may not have that kind of
like people on your team for that long?
Well, I've only been where I'm at for the last 2 years.
Right. So I'm saying these people work, like they work directly with each other. Like they see and speak to each other every day.
You would assume that they have a better relationship than that.
Right.
I would like to assume that they are friends even though I have to work with you. But just like I didn't know that Cole from Martin and Martin didn't get along. And they worked very close together. That was one of their best friends on the show, but in real life they didn't like each other. Or Cole didn't like Martin or whatever the case may be. So, I mean, I guess it's possible, but I would just assume that they were good friends. But even if we
I think it's obvious that Angela at least thought they were.
Yeah, and I would assume that they were. So at this point in time, to me, loyalty is everything. In which we've had our issues with loyalty before, where I felt one way or another. So with me, this situation would fuck up a lot of shit because we not cool no more. I could still come in and do my job, but ain't gonna be no chemistry for real with us, because even though I'll still converse with you, it'll just be conversing. It ain't no warm and fuzzy there. And even if it did get to the point where you apologized and I forgave you,
I don't think Charlamagne would think he's wrong.
Who's surprised about that? But even if it did boil down to it, that he goes to his therapist and he realizes that he's wrong and he does apologize, to me, I would be like, okay, I accept your apology. That doesn't mean I forget. And if I don't forget, that means I'll always remember that you were disloyal ass nigga.
I think that if it was brought to Charlamagne's attention that Yee felt the way that she didn't defend him, I think Charlamagne would say, well, you should have been there. I wouldn't have to defend you if you were there to defend yourself.
But the fact of the matter is I wasn't there. The fact of the matter is that this nigga was talking shit about me, and the fact of the matter is that you let them.
I don't think Envy would have let him say that.
I don't think Envy would have let him say it either. I think he would have got some chuckles in and then realized that it was wrong.
I don't think Envy would have laughed at that. I think
I don't
Envy
know.
would have
It depends.
I think Envy would have took a big offense to Gucci calling her a bitch.
But see, this is the thing. I didn't hear the interview, but I tend to, when I listen to the Casey crew, Envy tends to chuckle about stuff that's inappropriate. So if it was something,
Not about people he ride for. Because that Deezus, I mean, granted, this is his wife, so it's different.
Right.
But that Deezus and Meryl shit was really serious to him.
But again, it was his wife.
And I don't think they said anything disrespectful. We agree,
Yes.
we disagree on that.
But then again, it was his wife though. Like, these are just friends, and we always know that Envy always says that he really doesn't have friends.
Right.
So if it was I didn't hear the interview, but if it was a situation where, you know, everybody was laughing and it was just like, oh, you know, and you know, Charlamagne laughing, Gucci laughing kind of thing, that he may have chuckled and with them.
And it wasn't even a laughing matter thing. Gucci just said it. He was talking about her. Like, Charlamagne didn't laugh at him calling her a bitch or nothing like that.
That's what I'm saying. That was the scenario that I was thinking. Like, if it was two of them that were laughing and it was kind of like a joke thing, then it would be like, all right, yeah, and now don't be disrespectful kind of thing. But if it was a serious one-on-one thing, no, I do believe that Envy would have been like he may not have been like, yo, you fucking disrespectful, like on the Diesel, them whatever, them two bitches, whatever. Okay, that's me.
Talk about my guys like that.
I don't really like them, but I don't think that their show is funny. But I apologize. I didn't mean to call them two bitches. I just really don't like them.
Yo, don't call them bitches, bro. Like, yo, no, fuck with you. Go ahead.
Anyway, so, you know, like, I don't think he would have been as upset with them.
Right.
But I think that he still would have been like, okay, you know, don't talk about her like that. That's
they
my
made
people.
up, by the way.
Who? These and
Meryl and Envy.
Good. It's about time. It's been, what, a year?
Yeah, it was on the year anniversary of when they came on the Breakfast Club. They sent him an edible arrangement. Said, happy anniversary from Dickhead and Pussy.
Wow. You know what I think I did? Didn't they say that on the Casey crew?
I don't know if they said it on the Casey crew. They said it on Breakfast Club, though.
Oh, okay.
He didn't say, Envy didn't, he just said that they sent me a present. And Angela and Charlamagne kept asking what it was. He didn't say. On Deezus and Meryl's show, they said they sent him a gift, and the lady that mediates for them, she asked them what it was, and they said it was an edible arrangement. Said happy anniversary from Dickhead and Pussy. But Envy was good with them. Envy was good with them, and it was funny because they were playing like when Envy said it on the Breakfast Club. Charlamagne was like, "Well, that's good, y'all made up. Maybe they can come on here." And he was like, and then it cut back to Deezus and Meryl. It was like, psst. Nigga, we on Showtime now. We don't go on the Breakfast Club.
Oh, wow. Like, you see, y'all still talking shit. We about to see, this is why y'all dickhead and pussy. Y'all about to be part 2.
So,
I'm hungry.
Yeah. We want to get off. We want to get off this. Okay. Yeah, we'll get off of this. Yeah, I just want to say that, you know, in my opinion, though, I agree. I think that Charlamagne should have said something. And to further buffer my point about thinking that Envy would have said something, I think that if he fucked with Angela enough to not do the interview because she didn't want to do the interview, I definitely think he would have said something.
Yes.
I don't think he would have let that slide.
I feel as though that Charlamagne, being a friend, should have. But like you said, you know, he's the kind of person that just would have been like, well, you should have been there, and I'm not your keeper, or whatever. He probably would have said something smart. So, you know, but I mean, if it were me, if I was in that situation, that would be a huge problem for me. Just the fact that you allow someone to say something about me and you said absolutely nothing.
So
and that's
if he were to say,
reminds me, like, people, I'm still cool with people who I felt as though were disloyal in one way or another. And sometimes when you look at them, you see a glimpse of that disloyalty. Even though, like, you apologize, even though you cool and you forgiven them, you just see a glimpse of, okay, well, if shit hit the fan, I've only seen one way in history that you've gone. So I would feel like I couldn't count on you.
have I overridden my negative instances? Do you know that I would ride for you? Instances.
You're getting there, I guess.
So you still
There's
have
never
a doubt
really
that
a
I would ride for you?
moment. There's never really a moment that has come up where I needed you to have my back recently. But there has been 2 moments that I can think of, and one was when we were fresh and first dating that I felt as though you didn't have my back, and then there was another moment with your so-called cousin that I felt as though you didn't have my back. So, I mean, but since
what
those...
cousin?
Ashley.
Oh.
And since those moments, I really haven't had any moment where I needed you to have my back. I mean, we all know that, or me and you both know
What about
that,
when I saved you from Alabama Zigzag?
Well, that was before Ashley.
I was joking.
So that was after the first incident. It was like, okay. No, actually it wasn't. It was before the first incident. So, but I mean, like I said, we didn't really have an incident where I needed you to,
What about Dwight?
Facts. Okay, so then.
But I understand it. The way the human mind works is we just naturally, a lot of times, cling on. Not saying that you do it purposefully. We just naturally, as human beings, we cling on to the negative things because they affect us in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
And like I said, loyalty is very big to me. Yeah. So it's a lot of times that you'll remember.
I think I'd win that pros and cons list. Like the moments I rode and the moments I didn't. I think I win that list.
But then it gets you to the other point where it was just like, well, why didn't you? There shouldn't be the moments I didn't. Because at any point in time, when it was time for Simone to ride for you, she's always ridden for you. And if anything, you pissed off a couple times that I rode for
Simone's
you.
Simone's a lot more reckless than Terrell is.
Simone is a lot more reckless. Facts. Because you ain't going to just say anything about my man and just think that that's just what's going to be.
You could tell me, you can be honest with me and tell me if this is a bad trait. But in a situation where you and someone else I love are at odds, I'm going to try to say it to where everyone's cool.
Mm-hmm. You will.
Is that a bad trait to have?
It's not, because you're trying to be, and I've been in that situation as well, where you're trying to be like, okay, I'm going to tell you what happened, but I don't want you to act the way that I know that you're going to act. And I weed through your bullshit. I speak fluent Terrell. I speak it fluently. Terrell. So as soon as you start telling me some shit, I can, there's the bullshit. Okay, so this motherfucker said what now? Oh, that's what he said. Oh, this is what we doing? Oh, this is what the fuck you said? And I'm calling you up, or I'm texting you, or we gonna go ahead and talk this shit out. Because, you never want to take advantage of anybody.
We're about where what was that?
You missed the whole thing. And I figured you weren't paying attention because when I said it, you didn't say anything. But it's okay. You'll have to hear it. You'll have to hear it when
really? I'm going to listen to it tomorrow anyway.
Good.
I don't know. A bunch of people always say they never listen to themselves back. But
Man,
I do.
I'm a whole fucking character. I just be like, Simone, you need to chill the fuck out.
Yeah, you don't need no chill, baby.
I think I've been pretty chill on this episode, though. I don't think it's hot and I'm hungry.
We about to eat. We about to log out. We good. We about at where I said I wanted to stop if we went over. We still under a minute or an hour and 30 minutes. So this has been an extended version of our podcast. Thank you guys for listening. My voice sounds cracked as fuck when I just said that. Again, I'm getting over a cold. So we are back. Expect to hear from us a lot more. No big breaks. I'm going to make sure of it. No big breaks. Even if we got to come up here with some dry ass podcast episodes, okay? We going to be here in our dryness for you guys, all right? Shout out to France, our top abroad listeners, our top
bonjour,
our top
bonjour
foreign listeners, yeah. So shout out to France.
Thank you, France. Paris, that love. Do you like my Paris accent?
Yes, baby.
Oh,
it is
yeah.
great. You sound just like you from France. Sound French as fuck. So yeah, so we're gonna sign out. I am VA Verse. Across from me,
Is your wife that you did not leave with love with?
Oh shit, we gotta leave with love. I'm rusty.
Yeah,
I'm rusty.
because we're not a well machine.
Oh yeah. Oh, because if we were well oiled, we wouldn't be rusty. Right? I see what you did there. But it's okay. All right. Yeah, you didn't have to give yourself the drum roll.
I
too.
did, because I gave it to myself the first time when I threw a little bit of shade just now, but you missed it, so you gotta.
You smell that? It's popcorn.
I'll smell it.
Corn on the cob.
Are you calling me corny?
No. Yeah.
Bet. Because my corny ass going right to sleep.
What?
And I bet you won't be getting none of this corn on the cob.
It's gonna be blue. It's gonna be a blue night.
Yep. Blue moon.
I don't even drink Blue Moon.
Alone.
It's not gonna be a blue night, is it?
Oh, most definitely. You call me corny in front of goddamn France.
In front of France.
Yep. You disrespectful.
Okay.
You're disrespectful ass. You know what? Let's leave with love. Terrell is disrespectful, and I don't have nothing else to say, so I'm not
We'll
leaving.
leave with hate.
Yep.
You don't have to if you don't want to.
Good, because I'm not going to.
All right. Well, I want to leave with love.
Oh, now you do, because now you're my member.
I love the way that you throw shade. I love the way that you talk shit and you treat me like ass, but you still love me. I think that's the way that you show love.
Yo, I treat you
So
like ass,
I love your love language, which I think is bullying. That is your love language.
That was the most backhanded ass leaving with love I've ever had in my
All right,
whole
seriously.
life.
I love your support and your ability to know when it's the right moment to say something and when it's not, especially specifically when it comes to my feelings and my ego. You know, when I need to get that stern kick in the ass, whether or not I want to hear it, whether or not I feel like it's the best thing to do at that time. You know when it's time to give me that stern kick in the ass. And you also know when it's time to tell me it's okay. You made a mistake. We can fix this. Learn from your shit and we got it. You got it. You know when to tell me I got it. And I love you for that. And I thank you.
Oh, you're so sweet. Well, I love you in general.
I love you.
I do.
Mm-hmm.
I love you in general. I love you the fact that you did not get me sick, because you almost had to get quarantined to the couch. I just love you in general. I love you. And I appreciate you. But you still call me corny, and I'm still in my feelings a little bit. So that's all
So
you
I
get.
get a better one next episode.
Maybe. It depends on how you act.
I'm going to act right. I'm going to show you tonight.
No, you're not. You're not showing me shit.
I'm going to show you.
No, you're not.
You're
You're
gonna
not
see.
showing me shit. I'm
You're
not
gonna
going to
get
see
the show.
nothing because
You're going to get the show.
I don't want the
I'm gonna
show.
put on Pony. Genuine Pony.
You can put it
You'll
on
get
all
the
you
show.
want to when you pardon my back,
Why don't
because I'm going to sleep.
Why don't niggas go straight to Pony when they got a strip?
I don't know, because
Straight to
Genuine old damn ass was the first one to be and this little twerk.
Niggas go straight to
Fuck.
Pony.
All right.
You know what I'm about to start? I'm about to switch it up. I'm gonna start going to Pretty Ricky. Hey,
You can't go to Pretty Ricky because that's what I say to folk when I see them. You was really doing a grind on the chair with legs all wide.
So honey.
Okay.
So
Well,
honey,
you're
so
listening to
honey.
VA Verse, and I am Z, and you're listening to For Better or Worse.
I am VA Verse. Across from me, this whole episode has been my beautiful motherfucking sexy ass wife, Z.
And you're listening to For Better or Worse. What do you want?
See y'all later, motherfuckers. Bitches. See y'all later, motherfuckers.
Stop calling them out their name. See, that's why they ain't gonna listen to us no more.
Yeah. So we'll see y'all later. Stay away from chicken sandwiches.
This whole conversation.